Hey guys, today I'm going to be telling you how to disassemble pretty much any AK style Airsoft assault rifle, AEG. And this works for most variations. Specifically, I am going to be doing this on an Echo 1 MOD47B RIS Tactical AK-47. I will put a link to my review of it somewhere. You're going to need various different size screwdrivers, both Phillips and flathead. And to start, obviously, you're going to first take off this upper receiver piece. And then, if you want to access the motor, which is stored inside of the rear hand grip, the pistol grip here, there's a small, well, it's not really small, but there is a Phillips head screw right in the bottom. Simply take a screwdriver here and take out that screw. And now here is the motor, my Echo 1 motor. And the next thing will be to take off the buttstock. So to do that, there are two screws on the bottom and one screw on top. Now, I lost the butt plate, so I'm going to have to open this up because you're going to have to disconnect some wires inside. I had electrical tape on here for the last time I played Airsoft because it was sort of wet out, but just have to take that off. Okay, so now just imagine I took the butt plate off. Now you're going to use the same screwdriver to take out this screw and the two on the bottom. I like to start with the one on top. And you have to be sure not to lose any pieces because, you know, any screws or anything like that. The problem here is getting around the motor, and you just kind of have to come in from the side. Now remember, the shorter one goes inside the top. So set those apart. And now carefully just wiggle this backwards. You don't want to do it too fast because you might pull some wires out. They get caught in there really easily. Alright, so now it's coming out. We're just going to look inside here. And, oh. See, the wires got tangled up in here a little bit. There we go. So, here's a little connector in here, and I found that the wires disconnect from here very easily. So, and this isn't one of the little clip ones. It's not like this, where you can clip it. It doesn't have a clip on it. Or actually, I think it does, but the wires in here came out of the little connector, little adapter thing there. So now what you're going to do is feed this wire back. See, this is the most difficult part of taking this off, is the wire gets caught down there very easily. You may require the use of a screwdriver to align it correctly. Okay, I'm going to feed it back up so I can turn this around. Oh, by the way, the fuse is right here. This is the fuse box. there's the fuse. And you don't have to take off the buttstock to get to that. Or if you want to do work on it, it's much easier just to take it off and open it up. So here we are with this part now. Next, we're going to take off the slide here and this plate over the hop-up system. This is where it gets a little bit more tricky because the little hop-up lever has to be taken off. So what we're going to do is first we're going to take this slide out. So you take this metal piece here and pull these apart. It might take a screwdriver on some models because some are harder to do this than others are. Pull it out and lift it up so it's out like this. And some models this piece can come off and some it can't. That fell. See, generally there'd be a screw here, but the little attachment, oh, now it fell off once I took that off. The little attachment thing right here broke. So that just comes off if I were to take that last piece off. Now, obviously this metal slide piece here came off. You can, if you just realign it and then put it back on like that. There. And be careful, there is a spring inside of here, inside of this piece here, which will fall out. I took a piece of, not a piece, but I took a drop of super glue and I put it at the end of that spring and then put it in there, so now it stays inside of here. Take this little piece out. Now, here's the hop-up system. This is the little hop-up slide. When you're making adjustments to it, you want to be sure that it is pushed all the way this way, taking off all of the hop, you know, whatever. So to take out the hop-up system and the barrel, you're going to have to disconnect this whole lower receiver here from the handguard up here and the outer barrel, as well as the mock gas tube. To do that, 4 more Phillips head screws on the bottom. Hold on. I'm magnetizing the screwdriver so that hopefully when this comes out, it will do this. I don't know why this won't come out any further. Sometimes these seem to just get stuck in here, even though I've unscrewed them completely. Oh, also know that if, obviously, it's an electric motor, it's magnetic. You can easily lose screws and stuff like that. So there, now all 4 of those lower screws are out. You want to be careful here when you're doing this. You're going to, hold on a second, I've got to make sure that I'm doing this right. You're going to want to pull backwards from here and forwards with this, but also at the same time lifting upwards and rotating like this on this part, because you don't want to get the little feed tube to get shredded off by the metal plate here. So just do it very carefully, like this. There we go. So here's the gearbox, motor, and the whole lower receiver right here. We'll set this to the side. And here you can see what I did here, because this opened up that tube. I super glued this in here like that, so I gotta be careful not to lose the spring in case that breaks off. So now we have the hop-up system, and another thing you want to be careful of is these little nuts inside of here. When you pull it apart, it also opens up those little channels there, and these can fall out of the side, which means that these screws won't go back in if you try to put it together. So if you're having trouble putting that back together, look and see if you're missing any one of these. Now we want to access the hop-up system and the inner barrel. For that, we're going to need some smaller screws. Let's see what size. I think this should do. Yep. And just so you know, on Echo 1 guns, disassembling it voids the warranty, but my warranty has already expired, so just a little heads up. So here's the inner barrel, my inner brass barrel, and the hop-up system right here. Now to remove the hop-up system, it's just a simple little C-clip here, and then you can slide it off and access the hop-up bucking and the other pieces of it, the little nub inside. So I will take this off and show you. You gotta be careful to keep it in the same alignment as you took it off. So here is my hop-up Mad Bull blue bucking upgraded. It is the bucking. I upgraded the bucking to a Mad Bull blue bucking, and here's the hop-up system. So now this seems like it's been getting pretty dirty, so I'm going to clean it briefly. You've got to be careful if you're going to be wiping this off here. You're going to want to put on, reapply some silicone grease, lubricant of some kind. So, just wiping off the dirt that was on this. So there we go, it is now working properly, like it always was. And we will simply put the C-clip back on, like so. Oops, make sure this is working correctly. There. So from there, there's basically just this forward piece, and really there isn't anything that you would do upgrade-wise to this to increase any sort of performance. Most of all these pieces here are just for show. However, if you were to want to rewire the gun so that it could use a stick type battery, and then you wouldn't be putting the battery inside the buttstock, you'd be putting it inside of the upper area, up inside this. There is a location on this particular model for rewiring right inside of here. I don't think I'm going to do that because honestly that's not necessary for me, and it would make accessing the battery easier, but it's fine for me right now. Now I'm not going to get into accessing the gearbox right now. I might at a later time.